Alright guys, welcome back to another Opera Omnia video where we're going to be talking about the next Dare to Defy fight, which is number 6. Now, for those who may or may not have noticed, Seymour and Rydia are currently boosted right now whenever you are tackling any of the Dare to Defy fights, meaning that they are going to be the featured characters for said banner that will be dropping whenever number 6 drops to global, which should be dropping on Monday night. Also, the data miners were able to find the banner, which you will see here in just a second, that is going to be attached to the next Dare to Defy fight, and the boss that we are going up against is going to be the same boss that we tackled with Transcendence number 12. So if you need a reminder of that fight, just look up some runs on YouTube. There are plenty out there from when Transcendence 12 first dropped on global, and that way you can start preparing for that fight, especially because if they're going to do the same shenanigans that they did with Benevelza by practically doubling the amount of HP that Benevelza had for the Dare to Defy fight, then more than likely they are going to do the same thing for this upcoming one. So now that all of that is out there, I want to go ahead and briefly talk about the two characters, Rydia and Seymour, that are going to be featured with the next Dare to Defy fight, and I'm going to let you guys know whether or not you should actually pull for any of these two characters in the upcoming banner. So we're going to first start off with the Seymour banner. Well, not the Seymour banner, but Seymour, because it is going to be just one banner. So Seymour, he is a debuffer, he is a dispeller, delayer, and a damage dealer. Now, basically the way that Seymour works is that his damage output increases as the enemy's HP falls below 80% and 50%. And what I mean by that is that whenever the bosses, or at least even if there's like multiple targets on the field, so long as you have one target falling below the 80%, then it is going to trigger one of his follow-up attacks after his abilities. Then, whenever you have a target below 50%, it is going to trigger the second one. So he can have multiple follow-up attacks. But the thing is, though, like when it comes to Seymour, like Seymour can dish out some pretty good damage, especially like way back when his BT got dropped. But the thing is, though, like if you look at how his kit works, and the fact that if you want to get the maximum, just like everything out of him at the maximum like percentage when it comes to like his BT effect, his damage output, so on and so forth, then like you practically have to set up a team around him so that, and specifically it's going to be like a team where you need to shave off HP as quickly as possible. So literally you are working around Seymour if you are wanting to treat Seymour as your main DPS. In my opinion, Seymour is going to get overlooked by a lot of the latest global releases, especially the DPS ones and even future ones that are going to be dropped. Seymour, I mean, he can definitely, I do feel like you can make him work, but seeing as how like there are going to be characters later down the road where I feel like players are probably going to prioritize more, I would say Seymour at most, if you want to, you can go up to his LD, so that way you can take advantage of his LD call ability, which is able to dispel enemy bumps, and it also delays them as well. So Seymour, he's alright. I don't really think that he's like chase worthy. Even if you do manage to get, like, let's say his BT, like, you definitely want to get the full kit, in my opinion, especially whenever he gets FR Echo in the future, which has not happened yet in JP. So I would say, like, you can, I would say you can go with the full kit for him, but if you are wanting to use somebody else's force time, then you could probably hold off on the FR and make sure to grab the BT. But in my opinion, even if you do pull, even if, let's say, you manage to get his BT or his FR under free multi, I would say just hold on to it unless you are wanting to sell it or whatever it is that you wanting to do. But I would say don't build it even if you do get either of the two weapons. And at least if you want to take advantage of his LD call ability, then just build that up and you'll be good to go. So Seymour, I would say he is definitely a very safe skip. Now for Rydia, I've actually seen some players in the community actually use Rydia in some of the previous Dare to Defy fights, and for good reasons. I mean, like Rydia has a pretty good kit in my opinion. So she provides the party with Water Enchant, Evasion. She is a magic damage dealer as well. Her FR is definitely the prize because well actually it's going to be the FR and the LD, because when it comes to the FR, it is a good FR when it comes to off turn and on turn setups. Off turn because you actually gain a 50% increase whenever somebody on the team evades an attack. And then on turn, you would also get about a 50% increase so long as you are meeting set conditions, which, if I'm not mistaken, is to deal water damage. And the other one is going to be, let me pull that up real quick. The other one is going to be when a party selects a water ability, whenever self selects a water ability. So yeah, basically just be enchanted with water and then you be good to go. That's pretty much it. Also, while her FR is active and you are dealing elemental weakness brave damage, which you are more than likely going to be doing, the party is actually going to be receiving a 50% HP damage up and HP damage cap up. So it's not a bad FR whatsoever. The other thing that I mentioned when it comes to her evasion, her FR actually inflicts a debuff, which makes it so that the enemies will miss, and that debuff lasts for 3 turns. It also has a built-in defense down and a 20% HP damage resist down, so it'll be additional HP damage that you're going to be hitting the enemy with. If by chance you run out of that debuff though, do note that her LD ability does provide a buff that does not have any turns. It only has stacks on it, and whenever you evade an attack, it will go down by 1 level within those stacks. So that is another backup that you can have. And again, Rydia is not a bad character whatsoever for her being an FR only unit. I feel like she's going to be pretty powerful later down the line whenever she gets a BT and her FR Echo. And for her FR to be a good mixture of off-turn and off-turn setups, and for what she provides overall, I do think that she is actually not a bad pickup. You may or may not be using her as much, especially since Core did drop like not too long ago. So it just depends, like if you are wanting that type of character with that type of potential setups that you can actually use for future team cons, maybe even for future Dare to Defy fights, so on and so forth. So Rydia is actually not a bad pickup whatsoever. If you do manage to get the FR, and if you feel that you don't need to build it, again, I would say you can just hold on to it until, like, let's say like another Dare to Defy fight drops, and then like all of a sudden you need it. So, but other than that, I mean, I feel like I pretty much covered everything when it comes to this banner. I mean, overall in general, like if you feel like you need to build any of these 2 units, I do personally feel like this is going to be a safe skip for some players, and then for some, I mean, like I said, you can go for either of the 2 characters, just depending on like what exactly you are looking or wanting to get out of these 2 characters. So, other than that, though, guys, that's gonna be it for the video. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Hopefully, this early info helped you out, so that way you can get ready for the next Dare to Defy fight that is gonna be dropping on Monday night. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one.